Welcome, you might have guessed it from the title and the big Colosseum behind me. We are in Rome. And what to do when you have forgotten to book access to things like Colosseum? Where can you gain access without booking a time? That is what we're going to be looking at. So let's head out into Rome. And apparently I'm not going to see Colosseum this time because I forgot to book it 3 months in advance. So let's head out there. We are here at a place I need a cue card because otherwise I can't pronounce it. It is Basilica Santa Maria Maggiore. Yeah, simply can't do that in my head, but it is a free experience. It's a beautiful church and it is such a delight to walk in there. The sheer quietness, the choir singing in the background when there is a mass, and furthermore, it is so beautiful. If you look at the entire structure, it is overwhelming to see. It is filled with Christian artifacts and Christian decorations, and it is a church with a lot of, churchill life, or a lot of people of the faith walking around. As you can see, I managed to snap a picture or two of them. Besides that, it's a place for a little bit of quietness away from the busy streets. So I warmly recommend you visit it, and let's head on to the next place because there's plenty more to see here in Rome. So we have stopped in for something to eat and a cappuccino, and actually the cappuccino here is so great. I don't use as much sugar as I use at home because there's more taste in the cappuccino. They are more well made. But besides that, we have chosen to sit outside, which means it's a premium cost. If you want to sit down, it will cost extra. If you want to sit outside, it will cost even more. Because if the cafe has to make money and pay for the outside seats because they paid to have these seats, they have to charge a little extra. It's not much, but it's extra. So if you're at the counter, it will cost a little less, and sitting down inside, a little more, and so forth. So a little street-side cafe in the center of Rome. What does a sandwich, or 2 sandwiches, and 2 cappuccinos cost? Well, it came to the godly pay of 16 euros. Yes, it's an ungodly amount, or it's actually quite cheap. So yeah, it is doable. Take the small side streets, you will find some of the lesser touristed places, and that is definitely worth it. The basilica right behind me, the Basilica Santa Maria Angeli dei Martiri, something like that, is one of the must visit places, and it's free, and you don't have to book a time slot. But it's not as grand as the other church we went to. It is a lesser church, but there is some old baths and an exhibition about these old baths that you must go in and visit. It's not much you can see in there, but it's plenty. And I see plenty of other YouTubers saying, "Oh, you must visit this. It is so great," but it's not that big. Just don't expect it to be grand. But it is definitely worth a visit. Who needs the Colosseum when you got the Forum of Traiano or something like that? It's a beautiful forum built in circa 500 and has been through a lot over the years. It has been an ordinary living quarter. It has been the Imperial Forum, and it has seen its fair share of history. It has quite an old and beautiful tower. It doesn't seem like we can get up into it, but I would love to. So if you know a way to get into that tower, please comment down below. Everywhere in Rome you look, you will see history. And yeah, we are headed for the Spanish Stairs, and we haven't gotten there at all, and we have spent the better part of the day just walking around until now. But this is a free area, the Terrazza della Quirks, or something like that. I'll write down here what it's called, or in the description. Never mind. The most important thing about this is that it's free, it is big, it is grand, it is truly an experience to walk here at this commemoration site. One thing you must think about if you're traveling to Rome is that it's off-season. We are here in October, and of course there's plenty of tourists still. So just because you get here off-season doesn't mean that you will be tourist-free. So we managed to reach the Spanish Stairs, and I don't know why it's called that, because it was given to Rome by the Italians, but that's a whole other story. But don't expect to be alone here. See all the people down there? It is a touristy site, but it's a must-see site, and it's free, and you don't have to book a time slot, so yeah, why not head for it? It was 1.7 kilometers from Colosseum in a very non-direct route. Next up, the Trevi Fountain, when I catch my breath, because apparently I'm in worse shape than I thought. So at the top of the Spanish Stairs you will find this cute little church. It's very little, it's very cramped compared to the other churches here in the city. But when in Rome, you have to visit the churches. And anyways, when you're here at the Spanish Stairs, give it a visit. And if you're a Christian in any way, especially Catholic, go in there, give a little prayer. Otherwise, just enjoy a beautiful church. And now let's try and head for the Trevi Fountain if we can find it, and walk in a straight line and don't get distracted by another church, because we're good at that. One would think we have ADHD, but no, we are just very impulsive. So we reached the Trevi Fountain right there behind me, but so has 1,000 other people or something like that. Yeah, it is a really touristy spot, just know that. Let's see if we can get a bit closer and get a good snapshot of me in front of the Trevi Fountain. So I managed to get all the way down here, but so did, 1,000 other people. So yeah, let's get back up and let's find something with a little fewer people, because I am getting bunkersly crazy in my head of all these people. Alright, so we are headed towards the Vatican City, the St. Peter's Basilica right there at the Vatican City, but it's not a straight line because I got sidetracked yet again. I don't know what it is, but let's find out. So it was exactly as I thought, it was another church, but when in Rome, you will see a lot of churches. If you don't want to see churches, well, Rome isn't the place to visit, because a lot of the attractions that are worth seeing, the most beautiful attractions, are churches. So yeah, just another church, but yet a beautiful church with these beautiful pictures taken from it. So what is a trip without ice cream? Yeah, of course we have to have Italian ice cream when in Italy. So I often see the St. Peter's Basilica on TV, either when the Pope gives his speeches or when a travel program comes by. But they don't tell you the sheer amount of tourists that are here. It is ludicrous, so yeah, just be mindful of that, and let's head up and see if we can get inside the church. So we managed to get out of the St. Peter's Basilica, and now we're headed out to explore some more of the city, because there's plenty to do. Great thing about it, unless you want to visit the Dome or the museum, well, the St. Peter's Basilica and the Vatican Grotto, it's free. Yeah, no admission fee. So yeah, it is a free option right here in Rome, where everything else costs money. We have a free option, so that's a great thing. Besides that, it is definitely worth a visit. It is big, it is grand, and it really destroys when I'm visiting other churches, because it is big, it is grand, it's beautiful. Not the most beautiful of the Catholic churches I have seen, but well, it's still beautiful. When you get to stairs like these, it's just a matter of getting up there, because have you seen it? It's seriously long down. So That's what we do to get to our next place. Let's get on. Evening time is upon us, and as I gaze towards the St. Peter's Basilica, I'm thinking that tomorrow it's going to be rain. And what can you do indoor? Let's see if it's going to be rain in this episode right there, and see what you can do indoor here in Rome if it's going to rain. Otherwise, I'll have some other ideas of something great to see. But check it out right there.